because the rest of them will want to see it.
Yeah. Okay. We are recording.
Okay. So I have been busy, actually. It's been fun. I was working on my ATCs. So for October, or for the scary one, Creepy, I did this.
Ooh.
Cool. So it's kind of zombie-eyed cat in a crystal ball. So I thought that was different.
So is that a stamped image?
It's a stamp. And I stamp it in black and white, and then I colored it. I added all the extra colors by hand. I just used Sharpies actually.
Oh.
And then I distressed a little around the edges, but that gave it, because there's no way you could stamp all those colors on one go. But it was fun. It was meditative.
Oh.
And I also, because I had this idea in my head for November for Miss You. And I thought, the little fairy in the jar and how we're isolated. And I thought that was kind of cute for Miss You.
Yeah.
So that's what you're going to get. And then I got really having lots of fun with those new cards, the slim lines. And I got the idea, if you take scrapbook paper, those big sheets, because I don't find I scrapbook as much as I used to. And there's always little parts you can cut out. So I cut this out. It was down in the bottom of that scrapbook page, and it pretty much filled up the card. And I thought it was quite attractive. And then some of the rest of the page you can use as an insert to put your message on. So then I played with that. And then these sheets that you buy from the store, from Carol or whoever, they make nice slim lines too. So for this, I just cut 2 circles and put some of those little cards in behind. And this is a heartfelt page. And I used some of that to make this slim line card. And there again, you can put some of the page inside as an insert. Yeah. So I thought scrapbooking pages are great for those long slimline cards. Now, the other thing, I know we were talking about mailing everything. So my husband was up at the post office, so I sent him up with one of these envelopes. So this one is a little bit big. It's a 10 by 13 envelope. So there is a more letter size one, but I had a whole pile of these 10 by 13s. So she said, if you were to put in 100 grams, it would cost $3 to mail. So then I came back and I took my sheets, like I still got to add a December one. And if you put that into it, the envelope, and I put the Christmas card in that we're making for each other, and I weighed it, and it was about 68 grams, around that. So it could be less than $3 if she said 100 grams was $3. So I thought I'd share that.
Yeah.
And it might even be cheaper if you had the next size down envelopes. I just have a lot of that size, but I saw the next size down was, I don't know, 12 by 9 or 12 by 10 or something.
8.5 by 11 does fit in those next size down.
Yes, it does. And I saw a package of 25 of them, I think it was. It was quite a few at Walmart for $6 if you wanted a whole bunch of envelopes.
Okay. Let me just measure it.
So
okay, that's good. No,
it's 9 by 12.
Yes.
Size.
Yes. And that might even be a little bit cheaper. I don't know, but this one at the most would be $3, and mine didn't even weigh 100 grams. So
you just have to make sure that the sheet for the ATCs fits inside of it, because it's a little bigger than 8.5 by 11, right?
Yeah.
Does it fit 9 by 12?
It might. Yes, I think it does, Ann, because I think I had another envelope that someone had sent me and the sheet did fit in.
Yeah, because these are 9 inches and I think it's not any more than half an inch, is it?
I'm pretty sure it fit in, but I know I had these, so I
Yeah.
just thought I'd share that with you so you have an idea. If we want to mail everything, it'd make a nice little Christmas gift to get.
Yeah.
Would you put a piece of cardboard in there too? Like what happens if somebody bends that, the mailman bends it and sticks it in
Right.
there?
I suppose you could, and it would still just, if you have a little weigh scale, like I use the food weigh scale, and I would probably be able to put a piece in still and be under the 100 grams. Yeah.
Most of our stuff is distressed, so it'll just be more distressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
because sometimes we put embellishments or whatever on our cards. And, when they go through that sorting business, sometimes mail does get damaged.
As long as it's
Yeah.
not too thick, it generally goes through pretty well. Because I
Okay.
sent things to my brother that have just a little bit of a raise up, and there hasn't been any problem. It's if it gets to be too many layers, then it's too thick and it doesn't go through.
Or then it presses it more.
Yeah.
If it's too thick.
So, if you're away, and things like brads and stuff like that, they're hard and they'll stop things from going. But if it's a little bit flexible, like layers of paper, and it's not too many of them, it should be okay, so long as it's within the weight range.
I guess the
That's been my
alternative,
experience anyway.
the alternative might be envelopes that are padded, but they may cost even more. I'm not
Yeah.
Well,
sure.
then you got to buy the padded envelope, and they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nothing's cheap by the post office standards these days.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so anything else, Gina?
No, that's it. That was great.
Okay, great.
Can I-
Let's,
I did a lot in a couple of weeks, let's say.
yeah, Joanna, what?
Can I
ask something?
ask the size of those slimline cards?
I did mine. They say to make them smaller, but I did mine 4 by 9 folded.
Okay.
It
Yeah,
folds 4 by
yes.
9, and it fit in the dollar store envelopes.
Oh,
I think when you look it up, they suggest 3.5 by 8 or something, but I thought I would rather have more real estate to work on than to make it too skinny and not have enough room for your circles or squares or anything you wanted to add.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought they were fun and easy to make.
I on Saturday or whatever day, I looked at a video, YouTube video that I think Jennifer McGuire made. I'm not sure. On this, it's just one of her new ones within the last few days, and she went through all the different sizes of envelopes and what you need, and it was really helpful for me because I've never really made these before, and I was thinking that I would do those this year because I have some stamps and that will lend themselves to that long, narrow thing. And God knows we have at least 1,000 envelopes here left over from my husband's law practice. We've been using them forever, and they're still here. So, I mean, it would be perfect. You can just, and they're kind of nice and they're different, and you can do them portrait style or landscape. Anyway.
Okay,
Check it out because she's got the different size envelopes and the different size card you need to have for it.
that's a good idea. Okay, so Joanne, I'm gonna put you in the spotlight.
Oh.
Just a second here. Remove spotlight. Remove spotlight. Okay, you're in the spotlight.
Okay, I don't really have anything to share. I have started stamping for my November ATC cards. And I also started stamping for my Christmas cards.
Oh,
Ooh.
Ooh, that'll look
wow.
nice.
Vintage Christmas time. So that'll go on the front of the card. So I am not a card maker, so my cards aren't going to be really fancy.
Yeah, right. That's what you say.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, just a reminder for November, our ATC cards, the theme is remember or missing you. And for December, oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong year.
That is the right one, isn't it?
Yeah, miss
Reflection and missing
you.
I think.
Yeah, miss you / reflection.
Yeah.
And December is red, green, and gold. And then last time I brought up my issue with the stamps, how they're sticky on the stamping side.
Yeah.
So I did try cleaning them with the stamp cleaner. That didn't help. I stamped it with the Versamark and then used my StazOn on top of that. And that didn't really help either.
I had
Yeah.
some new ones I used this week, and by using like the white eraser and erasing it, you know, running the eraser over it, I didn't have
Oh.
any of them go sticky.
Just a plain white eraser,
Like, you know, one of these things,
a pencil eraser.
pencil eraser. So I
Okay.
just rubbed it over. Yeah, because so that worked for me this week with stuff.
Okay, I'll give that a try.
And actually,
You're muted. Carolyn, you're muted.
Lost you.
I didn't do
There
it.
you are.
You can hear me now?
Yep.
Oh, weird. Okay. I wasn't, according to my system, muted, but I muted myself and unmuted it and worked. You know, that's fairly typical with
Technology is
computer
grand.
things. They get lose track. But so I'll show, when I show you my ATCs, I had selected like 5 different stamps, and I had like piled them with a stamp and an ATC, a stamp and an ATC, just to keep track of them. And they were sticking to the paper before I used them, and then they weren't sticking once I used the eraser.
Good to know.
Okay. So there's an
Yeah.
idea for you.
Okay, I'm going to try that one. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else, Joanne?
No, thank you.
Okay. So next victim is Anne. Anything to
Right.
tell us, Anne? Show us?
All right. Well, first of all, I just looked it up. It is Jennifer McGuire, and it was 2 days ago on YouTube. It's called All About Slimline Cards, and it's about 33 minutes long. So I didn't watch it all, but the part I watched the beginning where she talks about the different sizes of things and what you need. And when I get time, I'll go back and watch the rest of it. But I thought it was really helpful for those of us who haven't done these before. Anyway, so that's Jennifer McGuire. She's good. Last time we met, I was getting ready to do a Halloween card for my granddaughter.
The wild things.
Got that done. That's your paper, by the way, Stephen.
Oh, glad it went to a good home.
Yes, where the wild things are. And then on Tuesday, my buddy who we do everything together, she's coming and we're making Christmas cards because she's 87 and she doesn't want to come when the weather gets bad. So I've been kind of gathering, and she says, I want to do something different. Can you come up? So I've been gathering together materials so she can have a look. Oh, I forgot. I think it's P13 has a cute little winter collection of stuff. I left that downstairs in the basement. I should have brought it up with me. But it's got, this is just the 6x6 pads in here. They're reversible. Really nice little different designs. And I have this tree die. So I cut it twice out of the same one, and I did the one side on here and then flipped it over and put it on a different background. So I'm going to use those on cards. I just haven't quite figured out yet how. But I thought those are kind of wintry and slightly
Yeah.
different. And then I got some new stamps when I was at Prince Edward County. So I made some sentiments to put in cards and then just die cut them with the curly circles. And then I had
Very nice.
Yeah.
a poinsettia stamp as well. So I made one of those as well. Not sure exactly how I'll use it, but I thought, it's cute. And then of course I love oxide inks. So I'm always playing with them. So I've made a couple of background things
Ooh.
that
Those
I'm
are
gonna
pretty.
use. I'll die cut something or I'll use for backgrounds and glue things on top. For
Is that
Christmas.
regular cardstock?
This actually is, no, it's mixed media, Canson mixed media sketchbook thing. I got them at Carol's. I bought the last two when she was getting rid of stuff. 40% off. They're a nice weight though for cards because they're firm enough to do the inking on, but they're not really thick. So when you're going to layer, you don't get a huge big thick card to deal with. And I love this stuff because I love this softness of it that you get, and you can paint on it too, or stamp on it. You can put stencils on it. You can do all kinds of things with it. So, but anyway, I thought, well, I'll start with those and see what comes up. So next time we get together, I'll have something to share.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay, thanks, Anne.
That's it for me for this week.
Okay, so
So-
let's.
So Anne,
Yeah.
Anne,
Yeah.
so now you're die cutting now, are you?
Oh, I broke down and bought a die cutting machine. Yes.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
Oh,
I'm learning.
What machine
did
did
you
you buy?
I don't know what it is. I don't know. What I have found is I don't really like the really fancy ones because I don't get them to cut through very well, but and I have trouble getting them out of the ones that have such fine detail.
Oh, one way you can do to get it out is take dryer sheets. And you take several dryer sheets. I forget the number. I
Yeah.
play around with it, and you fold them, and so you put it in a regular sandwich. So you do, like, you have the dye, the paper, and then the dryer sheet, and the paper tends to stick to the dryer sheet.
oh,
That would mean I'd have to go buy dryer sheets.
Well, that's the only thing I use dryer sheets for. I go to the dollar store and buy unscented ones.
Good to know, because I've got the woolly balls in my dryer that work really well. So
Well, and I have the little spiky balls, the
Yeah,
little plastic
they work
spiky
well.
balls. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Well,
Okay.
anyway, I'm having fun experimenting. We'll see how long it lasts.
Well, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Well, my cricket is driving me nuts, so I thought I got to do something else. Doesn't want to cut properly, except if I do very plain letters, and I'm fed up with it. So
Okay, so let's go to Darla. You're in the spotlight.
Okay, I just have my phone, so I hope I'm going to do this right. I don't know what's wrong with my laptop. But so the first thing I was talking about doing the last time, I'm doing a heritage album, but this is just a little clipboard here that I worked on. The pictures,
nice.
my
Yeah.
grandparents on a bicycle built for two.
wow.
So just
Oh.
those are little embellishments from Tim Holtz. And I
Mhm.
just used that. And then I did about 20 pages in my scrapbook yesterday, which I won't go through with you, but I sort of worked on a fall theme. So somewhere on the computer, I saw this idea of taking an old rake top, see the bottoms off of it there. So instead of throwing it out, you take the rake and you put some dried flowers on it, and then just a little burlap tie. So this is something that you can put on your door or wherever you want outside, maybe when you're decorating for Halloween.
That's
Cute.
neat.
Yeah.
And
I
then
like it.
and then I went back to my Mod Podge kinds of things, and I did the black hat.
Wow. I
And
love that.
How
I
did
love
you
it.
make that, Darla?
part.
How did you make the cone?
Oh,
Is-
just that's a Michael's. These are those things that you can get at Michael's that are just brown paper kind of
Oh,
Oh, okay.
things that you can decorate.
okay.
So I put the little broom and stuff on it. And I
Cool.
used the black tissue paper on that. Then I did the skeleton one, and I used some of the inks just to kind of make it look more like a skeleton, I guess.
Mhm.
Cool.
Authentic. And then I went on to doing, last year I started on this one, and some of you might remember I was struggling down at the store doing it
Oh,
with,
right.
I was using scrapbook paper, and it's actually too thick.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then I've gone more to using the tissue paper
Yeah.
Cool.
to do
Yeah.
that.
Nice.
And then I did another one in the orange.
Hmm,
Very good.
So then I
Cool.
just put it all together in a display.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Nice texture there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
so that's kind of what I've been working on this week.
Okay.
Good,
Nice.
good way to use up your Mod Podge bottle because those bottles are big.
Oh, I know. And you know what? You buy all these things, and I've decided I'm going to start using things up instead of going into Michael's and picking up more and more things for projects and then not using them. So it's time to use the things up.
Yeah.
I think we all have that issue, Darla.
Yeah.
Don't know what you mean.
Just got to find new
I find
ideas.
lately that Michael's doesn't have much of anything I want, so
Yeah.
I go in and I go out and I don't have anything in my hand, which is weird, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't been in Michael's in a while at all
Yeah.
to get anything because I'm doing what Darla's doing. Excuse me, choking up here. I'm just trying to use up my crap.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'll ever get it all used up. I have too much of it. But
Yeah.
okay, thanks, Darla. Anything else you want to talk to us about?
No, that's good.
Okay, then I think it's Caroline's turn. So I'm putting the spotlight on Caroline. Just a second here. Get the right one. Where'd Caroline go?
I don't
There
know.
she is.
Oh.
Okay,
Hello.
gotcha.
So I actually got my ATCs done finally for October. And with apologies to Edvard Munch.
Ah. Well, that's just a scream.
Oh, maybe if I put it further away, it'll focus better. So I did the same background and everything, but it's not coming out really clearly. But I used one of those big texture embossing powders, so it's got more
cool. So it's gonna have
different
texture.
sizes.
Mm.
And so I've got a skull.
Oh yeah, cool.
Which I thought was really fun, right beside the skull of the screamer.
Yeah.
And I had a little, it's kind of hard to see them, but I had a little like gold embellishment thing that liquid that I could use, that I put accents. So then I've got this owl in a tree. And
That's cool.
and then I have these 3 bats. So what I did was I selected the stamps, and then I would put one of the backgrounds and the stamp sitting on top of it, and the background of stamp. And when I went to pick up one of them, the stamps were sticking to the backs of these. So then I remembered our discussion. So out of all the ATCs that we've had, I guess we've had 7 months of ATCs since we haven't been able to meet, and I've now made 3 of them. So speaking of unfinished things, I have I've made cards over time, and I've had my style has changed, and I had some cards which, like, I do sell some cards to people. And I had some cards which nobody except me seemed to like, and I think some of them, they were just missing something. So I've been going through some of them and adding stuff to them. A lot of them are those lovely butterflies and feathers that Gina showed us. So this is an example of, one of the cards. I'm just trying to get it so
Back a bit, maybe.
back a bit. Yeah, but it's trying not to get the lights shining on it so much.
All right, yeah.
So
Nice.
I've been like selecting things like feathers. I haven't done these ones yet because I think most of them need a little more still. But so I had like this one where I've added a butterfly. I don't know if you can see because I got too much shine. I have to reorganize my lights, but I've got an embossed background and some of those little plastic things, but I added the butterfly to it. And then here's another one where it was, quite pretty background, but I thought the butterfly really added to it.
Yeah, it does.
And then this one, okay, just trying to get the glare off it. No,
Nice.
I don't know if you can see, I added these little gold embellishments. And what they are is I was at Dollarama and I found they had these, so these are bigger ones, and then you can, you can see they're the really tiny ones. So they're like gold, like little gold studs. They came in gold and silver.
Nice.
So I was using those. So for me, I've actually been a little more productive than sometimes. I just got, it's just that I have some other stuff where it's partly done, and I'm now trying to focus on, all those unfinished projects that kind of drag you around. I'm trying to clear some physical space as well as mental space.
Yeah, know about that. Yeah. Okay, anything else you want to show us or tell us or reveal, share?
Yeah. Well, no.
It's not that kind of broadcast.
Yeah.
That's the after show broadcast.
It's a very specialty broadcast when you're talking about,
Yeah.
my age.
Well, gravity's nobody's friend at any of our ages.
So, but no, I'm happy to see you guys, and I'm always inspired by what you guys do. So.
Okay, well, thank you. Take you out of the spotlight. I guess I'll put myself into the spotlight. So I have some more sewing related things, embroidery things, of course, to show you. I've been working on nothing but Christmas I'm getting a little sick of Christmas, actually. I got to branch out a little bit more. Oh, I wish my sister would quit bugging me with messages on my phone. Okay. That's one of the things I have to do tomorrow. She's telling me that my nephew wants to come over. He's got some jacket and he's got some patches, and he wants me to sew the patches on his jacket. So I don't know what these are or what they involve, but because my sister doesn't sew. So there you go. Anyways, what I want to show you, so I'm going to share the screen with you, hopefully. And I hope this will work. Okay, these are my rainbow angels. Can you see those?
Ooh.
Oh, cute. They're
Great.
pretty.
And they have a spot underneath them where I can put an LED light under each one. And I've got some little miniature ones that I use in my Halloween stuff. And so I'm not sure where I'll put them at Christmas, but I think I'm thinking of putting them as sort of around my Christmas tree. I just have a little Christmas tree. I don't put up the big, huge sucker anymore with that. So yeah, they take a while to make, but they're kind of cute. And
The
then
gold
I'm gonna,
one you posted today.
what's that?
I say I like the gold one you posted on Facebook today. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
that's the same sort of design as these ones. I just decided to do these ones all in the colors of Pride
Oh,
Flag.
they're all beautiful.
Yeah, I love them. But let's see, I'll stop the sharing here and then I'll show you. Okay, get this out of my way. Okay, so here is my other angel. Now, before I show it to you, first of all, I made one of these last year and I made it as a tree topper. So it sits on the top of my tree. It takes a while to make it. It's fairly large and it's not complicated, but there's some fiddly stuff you got to do with it. So I showed Walter the gold one that we were just talking about a moment ago. And he says, yeah, that's nice. He said, but I wish my sister'd go away. He said he liked the one I made last year better. And we're going to give this one. So I made one. We're giving it to our next door neighbor because she has what we call the creepy dolls at Christmas time. She's got these choir singer dolls that sit in the window, you know, with candles and stuff. They're creepy. They're really creepy when I look at those. So I'm going to give this to her. I finished it this morning. So here she is.
Oh, wow.
Oh, she's cute.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her
Beautiful.
front of her dress is organza. And then it's a brocade like fabric and it's all this stitching and the back of her, the wings, and she's got hair on the back too.
Oh,
And
beautiful.
halo and everything.
Gorgeous.
So, yeah, I think I'm going to make another one and maybe give it to my hairdresser at Christmas time. But yeah, they take a while, but the final product is kind of worth it, you know, when you
They're
do it. So,
They're beautiful.
Just
How long
gorgeous.
does it take to make, Stephen?
okay, this took me probably, if you did it all in one sitting, well, you can't do it all in one sitting. It took 2 days, probably, of, you know, fairly steady
lot of work.
stitching. Yep.
Yeah.
And then you see you've got stuff in here that's called like water soluble in the organza. This is, it's hard to show it in this light, but can you see that it's all decorated? Like the organza itself was just a white with these stars in it. And then all the gold you see in here and all those lines, those are all done on the embroidery
Wow.
machine, but it's put on top of a stabilizer that's water soluble, which is essentially a glue. And then what you do is you dunk it into water for a half a minute or so. It dissolves it out. And the more you leave it in the water, the more that will come out. Sometimes you want a lot of it to come out. Sometimes you don't want so much because you want to keep it stiff. This one is still a little bit stiff to keep the shape. So I left some of it in, but then it's got to dry. And now on organza, it doesn't take long to dry. I think this was well dry in about an hour, but sometimes pieces will take, I have to leave them overnight before I can work with them. Like those colored angels I showed you, those are all done on water soluble stuff too. And they had to sit and dry overnight. So yeah, it takes time. So
That's gotta have lots of pieces too.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of pieces. And then the other thing I was doing was I bought this pattern for doing something called Dresdens. Dresdens are basically these little points. They're sort of a triangle at the top and they come down. They make, when you put a whole bunch of them together in a circle, they make like a flower bloom sort of a deal. You have a special, it's actually, it's a traditional design in quilting, and you have a template that you use that you cut them all out. Well, I saw this pattern I really liked, and I bought the pattern online, and I already had the Dresden ruler, but I had never made Dresdens before. So I thought I'll practice on some scrap fabric, and I had some scrap Christmas fabric. So I made this table topper.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Ooh.
Nice.
I love that pattern.
Mhm.
Beautiful.
And I quilted it. If you can see the lines, I did what something's called ruler foot quilting
Wow.
on it, and you can see it on the back. Well, probably won't show up, but you can see sort of the lines there. But it started out as a placemat, And then it just started to grow, and I thought, oh, okay, it's going to be a table topper then. And
Beautiful.
I decided to get a little fancy on the corners because I did something they call mitered corners. Usually when you do borders, you will do borders. Well, here, these borders, you notice these are two different fabrics, but there's one that goes across and then one comes down. It's just squared off.
Yeah, that's
Well,
easier.
Yeah,
But
that's the
miters
easier
are
one.
hard. Miters are
Actually, miters aren't that hard. They're just a little bit
Good for
fiddly.
you.
So I did miters on this. Now I've done miters on a full-size quilt before too, and that's when they get really tricky because you're
Maybe.
folding your whole quilt over and you're going at 45-degree angles and the whole bit. But I thought, yeah, I'll do it on here. And this was also sort of practice with ruler foot quilting. I'm getting better at that, but it's practice. Practice makes perfect. So this will either go on a table at Christmas time or something, or it could be a wall hanging. The thing in the center, that snowflake, that is what they call freestanding lace embroidery. I just made that piece separate, and then I didn't sew it down. I glued it down with fabric glue because this is never going to hit a washing machine,
No.
even though that stuff's supposed to stand up in a wash too. But I've yet to try that to see if it does or not. So yeah, that was something else. Broke up the monotony. And now I'm working on napkins and actually more of a fall theme. It was originally going to be Christmas theme. I bought this fabric that can work for both fall and Christmas, winter kind of a thing. And as I got working with it, it just sort of screamed out that it should have more of a fall theme. So I'm embroidering in the corner of each napkin this cluster of leaves. They're in really nice colors in the whole bit, and then I'll put them put the napkins through my serger so I have a nice rolled hem edge around it. And I'm going to make a matching table runner to go with them, and that might be a gift. I don't know to who or what that might be, because I don't need any more table runners. Yeah, I know a lot of people that on the list. I just have to get together on that. But anyway, so that's what I've been working on. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I do commissioned work. Actually, I'm very cheap on I'm very cheap on commission work. Just cover the cost of the fabric and I'll do it because it's just another project to work on. So if you're ever
That's good
thinking
to
you
know.
need a quilt or something like a baby
I don't
quilt
need a
or
big quilt. I have a friend who's dead now who I have 6 quilts from her, so
oh,
I don't need any more quilts.
don't need a quilt. Well, table runners, napkins are easy to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Embroidery pieces, yeah, I can do it all. I just practice on everything. So, okay, so that's what I've been up to. So I will take myself off the spotlight, and I think I put Carolyn on the spotlight for some reason. Caroline, maybe not.
No, I think you're on speaker view, so you're
Carolyn
just
now.
showing.
Oh, okay. Should be. Oh, that's why. Okay, so that takes us to what we were talking about, but a couple of people I don't think got involved in the conversation because you guys came in after we finished sort of talking about this. My proposal is that we go for one meeting a month because I think we're all getting busy, and it doesn't give us like the 2 weeks goes by pretty fast,
yeah.
and before we don't have anything to share really with that. And so far, the only people I haven't heard from, like Caroline, what are your thoughts on that?
I would be fine either way. I'm just, yeah, I can understand why people might want to only do once a month. So
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
That's why we're missing a few people today, because it conflicted with something else that they had on, and you know how these things creep up on you all the time. So, and Joanne, how do you feel about that?
Yes, I feel the same way. I was actually thinking along those lines I've been thinking along those lines for a while, so I'm
Yeah.
good with that.
And it's
Okay.
like, I guess
So I think,
there's so
yep.
much to do before Christmas, all the extra Christmas crafting, which I need the time, not that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay. So, and I already heard from Kristen and Dana about it as well. And Darla's already told me what she would prefer. So it's the majority. Well, majority, it's all of us. We'll go back to once a month. So my suggestion is we just do what we always did. It'll be the first Sunday of every month, like we've done before. Now that changes one thing though, our little divided box challenge.
Yes.
we originally had that scheduled for November the 22nd meeting, but it would now be, I guess, December the 6th, because that'll be the first Sunday in December, and that's closest to November 22nd.
And
Unless you
I'm-
want to move it up to November 1st. That's our next meeting. So,
I'm kind of split. Mike and I are still really hoping we're gonna go to Mexico, and we'll be leaving for Mexico on the 5th of December. So
oh, okay. Well, do you want to move it up then to the next meeting, then November 1st? Is that going to give everybody enough time, or we can delay it? We can put it to January if we want. What's
I
everybody's
mean,
thoughts?
sometimes I work better if there's pressure, so.
yeah,
What about the week before the 6th? The
Well,
Sunday
that's,
before-
well, yeah, but that would mean we'd have to put our meeting to that, and that would put it into November. And do you mean like instead of doing December the 1st, we do November
No,
the
but-
22nd? That was what
No,
our,
the week after the 22nd.
so
So
you,
that was it 29th, is it? Or what's the
oh,
Sunday?
yeah, that would be
Monday
the
would be 29th.
29th. I think that would be the
it's
29th.
the
isn't it?
29th.
Yeah,
Because they were at almost at the 1st of December.
yeah. Well, we could do that.
Well, so then we do November 1st,
Then 4 weeks later, we'll do
the
the
29th,
Yeah,
and
because
then
there's,
we'll,
Because there's 5 of them in 5.
I
Sundays,
thought we
Mondays.
weren't doing November 1st.
no, we
Or-
were.
Oh,
Because that
okay.
would be, well, that would be our first Sunday, right? Of the
Yeah.
month. If we do November the 1st. And we could go, now there's actually 5 Sundays in November too.
yeah, so that's why the 29th, and then our next one would be the 3rd of January. We just wouldn't meet in December.
And that's.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can do that.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay, so
December
everybody's that,
15th.
so that meeting, then we'll have a meeting on November the 1st, and then the challenge will be November the 29th, which will also be our last meeting for the
for
year.
Christmas, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, before Christmas. Okay, got it. All right, I'll put that in the notes that I send out to you about everything, so that's done. Okay, so I haven't got anything else. Anybody else got anything that they want to discuss or talk about? We're getting people watching us
Mhm.
on YouTube according to the number of things that's been going up each time. So Joanne, you got something you want to talk about?
Oh, I just wondered if everybody replied to Carol's email in regards to the crop
Yeah.
for November.
Or what did she decide?
I don't think she's decided yet. She was waiting to hear back from everybody. So
Oh,
Oh,
did everybody reply? Who had registered?
I
I did.
replied and I said, no, I wouldn't
I
be
did.
attending.
Yeah.
And she said she totally understood and I would take the, a store credit, because I only paid the $50 deposit.
Yes, yeah.
I can't remember whether I've paid the whole thing or not, but I told her I'd take the store credit as well because, you know, but I just think it's, you know, I don't often see my granddaughters because of trying to keep them and us safe. So I don't know why I'd go and spend a couple days with a group of strangers.
Yeah,
It just
Yeah.
seems foolhardy, especially since most of us are in a target area
yeah,
for this
that's true.
little deal.
Yeah.
So,
apparently she has one group. I don't know if they're card makers or scrapbookers, but they're real diehards and they were kind of begging her not to cancel it, but
Oh, God.
anyway, so
You know,
Yeah.
I find that so ridiculous because my guild, I've got a group in my guild as well that really think that we should be going ahead with retreats, you know, and all this
Yeah.
kind of stuff. And no, I actually said that I'm the secretary for the guild. And I actually said, if you decide to go with that, I said, I quit
yeah.
mhm.
because I said, that's just foolish. And
Well,
then
I'm-
I had a few other people agree with me on that. So they're not going to do the retreats, which is good.
even without that, I'm one of the designated visitors for my parents, so I'm more careful because, you know, if I get
Yep.
exposed, then I can't see my parents, and that's
Yep.
Mhm.
Well, that's the same with my situation with my mother too, right? They're not letting anybody in except essential caregivers that have already been tested and, you know, tested regularly. And if you want to go in and visit, well, right now they're doing it in an isolation, but that's going to be closed down, I'm pretty sure, in the next couple of weeks with the way things are going. They're going to go back to complete lockdown, I think, too. So, you know.
So it
We
just
went
doesn't
from-
make sense.
We went from September, where everyone in the Toronto family in Toronto was able to visit my parents, to there were 4 people who could visit, and now there's 2 people who can visit. So it's been, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
just think, you know, it's not the end of the world right now if we have to miss a retreat, you know, whatever it is. I mean, yeah, it seems like forever. We've been in this for 7 months, but it's the, what do they say? We're taking the pain for the gain for later on. And, you know, I just don't understand the mentality of people who say, oh yeah, let's go to a retreat. I'll wear my mask. How much fun are you going to have sitting around wearing your mask unless
Put
it's a
your
Halloween
hazmat
party?
suit on, too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what I said to my guild, because I was shocked that there were people, because my guild is made up of people who are all in a vulnerable age. I mean, we don't have children in the guild, okay? You know, a youngster in the guild is somebody like at about 55 in there. So I'm actually at 63, I'm on the younger end of the spectrum in it. So that tells you a lot.
Yeah.
Well, and among my family and friends, there are anti-maskers, so there are other people I have to avoid.
Oh.
I know,
I
that's
don't
just
get
something.
that either, but
I don't
anyway,
get it.
There's a lot of things that puzzle me in the world.
Yep. True. Okay, so anything else?
Nope.
All right. No, all right. Okay. Well, I will send you the notes and the link when it goes up. And so our next meeting then will be November the 1st. Same time, same bat channel, and I will send out just a few days before the link as usual, but everybody knows the routine. So,
I'm
okay,
looking
everybody.
I'm looking forward to seeing the recording because I missed some stuff at the beginning.
Oh, okay. All right. So we'll see everybody on the
Thank you,
1st.
Stephen,
Okay.
for all
See
you
you.
do.
Thank you.
No problem. Bye, all.
Bye.
Good one.